Your life makes sense because you feel a sense of continuity. You wake up in the morning and you're pretty much the same person that you were the day before. And you see this steady notion of who you are, which is also called identity, is key. Because if you want to become fit, muscular, lean, the secret is to gradually tweak your identity towards that objective, making it part of your new identity. Think about it for a second. If you were truly convinced that your identity is the one of a fit person, you would have the healthy habits that come with it. Now, your identity is composed by the core beliefs that you have, and this is what directs your life. From the thoughts that you have to the emotion that arise and the action that you take, everything loops back to these fundamentals, core beliefs that you're using in order to navigate your life. Now, that is true on both a conscious level on which you have influence and an unconscious level which you don't have direct access to. And if you know how to gradually focus on changing those beliefs, your body will have no choice but to follow it. Now I have to go back in time a little bit, and your core beliefs are first formed during childhood. It always goes back to childhood because when you're born, you're almost like a blank canvas. So everything that happens then is to the brain primordial for survival purposes, and it has to learn it and encode it no matter what. And if as a kid you acquire the belief that you are not a fit person, you are not a fit kid, you're not the active sport type, or that you can't be lean because of your morphology or whatever the world has been telling you, your brain has embedded that in your system. And it doesn't want to let go of it as it uses it for you to have a continuous representation of yourself. Now, these beliefs can come from negative experiences, feedback you've received from people, or simply a lack of experience. No, it's not only about childhood. Your core beliefs are also coming from powerful life experiences, positive or negative, by the way, and they can be modified according to repeated experiences. And this is the secret formula that we're going to be using in order to change your lifestyle. You have to know, and that's important, that you're continuously developing and refining those beliefs on a daily basis. The problem is that most people don't realize that they have the power to change them. They're convinced that they're condemned to live a life with their current life circumstances for the rest of their lives, meaning the same body, the same mindset. And if you dig deeper, you're going to figure out that these beliefs are controlling your life. And that's a problem because if you don't have the control over it, it means that this has the control over you. And most of the time, that's exactly what happens. Most people keep living their lives controlled by the same childhood beliefs that they have encoded. This is why someone who acquired the early belief that food is comfort and that it serves a purpose of emotional regulation, they will continue to use it as such throughout their life. Now, if you have to take one thing away from this video, it's this. Your identity, basically who you are, is a composition of core beliefs. From these beliefs derive thoughts, emotions, and actions. In short, your core beliefs through daily embedded patterns are responsible for the outcomes of your life, as your brain will always try to act accordingly to your beliefs. The thing is that even if you can access these beliefs, you cannot tweak them just like that. It just doesn't work that way. They're too deeply anchored, and your brain will try to prevent you from tweaking them, from doing so. In fact, this is the exact reason why between 80 to 95% of people who lose weight through dieting, they gain it back after a few months. They force the outcome, which is losing the weight in this case, through actions, but they stuck to the same beliefs. And that is the reason why the shift you have to make is as mental as it is physical. Now, this doesn't only apply to weight, it applies to body image too, basically everything that involves the perception of yourself. Now, if you can't ask for a fairy to change your beliefs overnight, you have way more power and agency over them than you think you have. And here's where I need to be honest, because hearing this is more important than liking the sound of it. Changing your beliefs is a long-term process. There's no magic pill for that. However, this is also one of the most meaningful things you can do for yourself. And aiming to reshape your identity on a daily basis is what will help you alter those beliefs and transfer them to get the outcomes. Because ultimately what we're trying to accomplish is to trigger brain adaptation. Those beliefs, they have a written place in your brain where they're encoded. Think of it as a computer that runs on a specific program dictated by lines of code. Your beliefs are those fundamental lines of code that enable your brain to function properly. Now, altering those lines is the last thing that your brain wants to do because it may endanger the whole program you're using to navigate what is called life. That is why most people stick to their core beliefs and do not change them during the course of their lives. And they always fall back on old patterns. They're always saying that this time they're going to do it, but they don't stick to it for more than a couple of weeks. So now you know that your brain's biggest fear is changing your beliefs. So how do you do? Well, you need to ease into it. It needs to be gradual, as this is the only thing that will make it last. And the change needs to be sustainable. And that is why the first thing that we're going to do is to build a roadmap. You need to architect the structure of your change and how you're going to change those beliefs over time. And you have to be specific. First things first, what is it that you're trying to reach? Are you trying to put on lean mass? Are you trying to lose the weight? Do you want to exercise more and feel healthy? What is it that you're trying to accomplish here? Basically, what's the direction that you want to take? Now, again, specificity is your best ally, and you need to have a precise goal if you want it to be effective. Once you have your direction, you log that in. The most important thing if you want to reshape your beliefs is consistency. And you need to take daily steps that are coherent with the vision that you have in mind. And at this point, you have to know which steps are going to get you there. And from there, you craft a specific and realistic map, a plan. Focus on the realistic and actionable. Those characteristics will make your structure viable long term. And the biggest mistakes being made by a lot of people here at this point is to try to change everything at once. For example, it's quite often that I hear people say, as of Monday, I'm going to start going to the gym 4 times a week, eat clean, and fix my sleep schedule. I don't doubt the fact that they really want to do that, but problem is that their core beliefs at this point are, I can't exercise, I'm anxious in the gym, food is a way to reward myself or seek comfort, or I can't sleep before 2 a.m. because I'm a night owl and that's all I've ever been. And in this case, these beliefs are going to get the best out of the gym attempt within 2 weeks. It's just too much. If you're doing this, you're trying to jump between continents. One step at a time. At first, just focus on one of those. And for me, you should always start with exercise, as this facilitates the rest of the process. This is going to be your goal. The goal isn't to have a six-pack. The goal isn't to lose 30 pounds. The goal is to create, find, and iterate on a sustainable structure for you to reach those goals. Then once you have the system, you obsess over the quality of your input rather than the dream outcome. And that is something that I talk about deeply in the previous video. Link in the description. The outcome, the six-pack, is the result of your implication. That's it. So what is a clear step 1 to all of this? Well, you're going to feel overwhelmed, and that's kind of inevitable. That's just part of the process. That's why I'm going to extract for you the very first step from all of this for you to just focus on that. And the first step is to introspect. You need to reconnect with yourself. If you haven't been top shape for months or years, you need to be clear about the reason why you're not. Focus on identifying the root cause. Then you can find a remedy. This is going to help you identify and find the core beliefs that you've been cultivating. And this will open up a path to changing your identity. Your brain, if you're willing to explore and expose yourself to the associated negative feelings that are going to arise from you digging deep in your own brain, it will eventually tell you exactly why you are the way you are. And the problem is if you skip this step and move on directly to taking actions to fix the problem without understanding it first, you will be operating in the dark. The point is to open up a honest discussion with yourself about what needs to change. Then once you're clear about that, you can start the whole process, building the structure and taking actions. So I hope this helps. Trust the process.